Welcome Aquarius to your December 2019 reading. I can't believe we are at the end of this year. And guys, I'm running a little bit late with these, mainly because I was doing the big 2020 readings, which are all posted and in a playlist as well. So anyone that hasn't checked them out yet and wants to, if you go to the main channel page, you'll be able to find you'll find them fairly easily because of the playlist. I don't have many playlists. So welcome back, guys, those of you who are already following my readings and are a part already of this amazing community. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your likes, shares, and especially your comments. The way you are actually sharing your own journeys, your own insights, your own awareness. Guys, you really are inspirational. I respond to as many comments as I can. Obviously, there are just too many. But guys, you know, the way you're connecting in with one another too, it's fabulous. So just, you know, big thank you. Namaste, big respect. And for anyone new to this extraordinary and amazing community, welcome. So I'm Jenny Florence. I may already have said that. If I haven't, I am. So introducing myself. Guys, I put a lot of free resources into the world. Details are all in the information box below, including the potential opportunity to win a free private reading. I give a free reading to one of my subscribers every month. This month, because it is December, I'm giving away a couple of extras and also giving away each week in the build up to Christmas some books. The first week of December, I'm going to be giving away 10 copies of my new Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon Diary 2020. I won't speak about this now, but I will tack a little video on at the end of the reading for anyone that's interested, and there's a link in the information box below as well. But I'll put that to one side. Guys, we're going to draw from the runes first, and while I was kind of preparing for the reading, I was drawn for this reading to a sodalite wand and a selenite heart. I love the energy of selenite. I love the way it sort of radiates light. It draws light in and then radiates it out. And that's very much what it does. It embodies high vibrational energy. It opens the crown chakra, the soul star chakra, and brings high vibrational energy sort of into our physical being. Sodalite, the sodalite wand. Sodalite is about rational thought, clear thinking, being able to articulate clearly. It also enhances self-esteem, raises our levels of confidence because we're able to have a voice with clarity. So very powerful combination, these two. So let's dive in and draw some runes first. Ooh, one is literally trying to slide out. Let's just see where that is. And guys, it's the blank rune. I just want to say, wow. I always feel like saying wow when we get this rune. The energy of it is, I think, for me, profound. In the cycle of runes, if we think of them as a cycle, rather like the major arcana of the tarot, it's the end and it's the beginning. It's a rune of infinite possibility. It's a space of possibility. It's a space of the unknown. It's new horizons. It sort of combines almost the energy of the Fool in the tarot, that beginning where we step into a space of the unknown, with the card of the World, where there is a sort of a completion of a cycle. Very powerful to start our reading. To say, the runes are really, the energy of them is profound. I can almost feel like some of them pushing right through. It's quite hard to... Okay. That's our rune next. It's the rune of Gateway. Wonderful energy. So what I'm hearing is, it's like a pause. It's an in-between space. That's what I want to say for you guys. That's the energy of it. It feels like an in-between space where you are invited to open yourself up to I will say higher vibrational energy in order to get like a kind of a download of clarity. To do that, this rune is also an invitation to reflect and to cast your mind back. It's an amazing time of year to do that anyway, isn't it, really? I think as we look back over the previous year, we look at our learnings, our growth, the things that have been challenging, the things that have, just flowed into being with ease. For most of us, there'll be, some ups and downs during every year, but this rune particularly asks you to pause, to take time to reflect. Interestingly enough, it asks you to look back over your entire life and kind of look at how you got to where you are today in order to evaluate, to appreciate every step of the journey before stepping through the gateway into something new. A pause for reflection, a pause for illumination is what I feel, a pause to gain clarity in some way. Very powerful energy with this sodalite. I feel like it's almost wanting to push forwards, and that's also what I'm kind of picking up in the runes as well. I feel like they're all kind of trying to burst through like a little mini volcano. Really are. We have the rune of fertility. The rune of fertility is a request, again, to its completion of beginnings. We are asked to tie any loose ends up, and that includes, I'm going to say, energetically. Shed, release, cleanse, tie things up, see if there's anything that isn't really working, and rather than maybe tolerating it, decide what you're going to do about it. There's opportunity to gain clarity here. Well, that one will definitely be leaping out. We have the rune of breakthrough. I love it when that happens. We have the rune of breakthrough. This is really interesting. It can literally mean a 180-degree turn. But it's certainly a course correct or a tweak your direction. And as I said, for some people it can be a radical turning point in their lives, really those light bulb moments, those breakthrough moments when we just make a decision that we're going to go in a different direction. And sometimes it means that things have happened that have caused us to want to go in a new direction. I need to say, even though the gateway rune asks us to look back over our entire lifetime, the message I'm receiving is much more recent for you guys. I'm not saying that circumstances maybe over the last year have, if you look at them, you'll recognise that they, most of the things we do and our responses, if we think of this in terms of our own capacity for conscious decision making in our lives, that's always influenced by history. So, of course, we can often trace things back if we can see that there's something we wish we had done differently, or indeed if there's something we were pleased and felt we did well, we can also see how we managed to build up to the position of being able to do that. But however we look at it, I feel as though this reading is asking you to look back over the last year. I'm not saying things don't connect back further, but it feels like I feel like you're being invited for an annual review. Now that may seem like a very generic thing, but that kind of flavour of the last year has not come through in any of the other readings for December, not with this clarity. So it's definitely, for me, I'm hearing a review of the year with a view to gaining some crystal clear thinking about how you wish to, I now want to say, forge ahead. That's what is feeling here. It feels as though the runes want to push forwards. Before I draw another, I just want to touch base with the astrology as well, because during December we have the solstice. That's the summer solstice if you are in the southern hemisphere, and the winter solstice if you're up here where I am in the northern hemisphere. This is a pivotal moment when energetically there is a pause, and it's as though the earth takes a breath before shifting into a new cycle, and we can receive huge downloads of illumination that kind of upgrade our system in terms of consciousness. So really take advantage of that energy. It's followed by the new moon eclipse, powerful new moon eclipse in Capricorn. Things happen very suddenly during eclipse season. A new moon eclipse is like a new moon on steroids. It's kind of, the energy is there, it's very vibrant, it's wanting to push through, wanting to burst into the new. So, and in Capricorn, particularly given that we have Pluto and Saturn edging closer and closer together, they come together in January, calling for us to restructure and create change. The energy of them, I think, for you guys in December, yeah, there's real opportunity here for some kind of a download, some kind of I'm going to say a review of empowerment, or certainly potential empowerment in terms of your own choices and decisions. I'm actually going to draw another moon. They really are wanting to kind of, I almost feel like I could do a whole reading just on the runes alone. The energy of them is quite amazing in this reading today. Oh wow, look, we've got two. That was unexpected. I thought I literally only had the one. We have the rune of joy. This is wonderful. Out of light into darkness, carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. This is like, this is wow kind of energy. It's like whatever the breakthrough. If you're able to take advantage of a space where you yourselves pause and reflect over the last year, I think you guys have an opportunity to set some pretty crystal clear intentions. This is interesting. We have the rune of wholeness. This is the path you must follow. I can see why that's come here. There is almost like a completion here. The path you must follow. You get to really... What I'm hearing is some of you are maybe tolerating things that, I don't know, do you know the phrase rubbing along nicely comes to mind? That sort of, you know, we're kind of there, it's not perfect, but it's okay, and we just keep on going with it. But actually, there are things within the keeping on going that I don't think are resonating terribly well with you guys. That's what I'm kind of hearing. It's like you're wanting more. In some way, I don't know what area of your lives, it will be different for you each, but it's as though you would like more. And you need to fertilise the ground for your own deliverance. And in this instance, it's to do with having a review. And it's not just a review of the last year, it's also a review of possibilities, of your hopes, your dreams, your desires. What makes your heart sing? I do feel there is a breakthrough, a decision in some way, and it is the pathway that you must follow. This is a very powerful lineup of runes. Really, really powerful, guys. Along with the energy of the selenite and sodalite, I have to say I can really feel energy radiating from them. So let's draw some cards. I always get quite excited when the energy really picks up in a reading like this, and it's huge. Look at that. The Wheel of Fortune, first card that leaps out of the pack. Ooh. We have the card of the Lovers. Decision making, guys. These are big cards, Aquarius. Big, big cards. The Wheel of Fortune, the Lovers, the Moon. Major, major arcana cards coming through. We have a whole pack sat here. I'm shuffling on my lap. I've always been torn. Do I have the camera showing me shuffling, or do I have the camera on the cards so you see the cards? And I've opted for the cards. But, you know, there you go. I've never worked out quite how to manage to do both all in one go without... where you don't get the proper what I would call view of them. Okay, guys, this is interesting, and we are going to need to draw another card here. We have the Knight of Swords. I'd like to get just a little more clarity on that, or draw more cards anyway from other packs. Okay, we have the Empress. Bar one card, all of these cards are major arcana cards. That's out of an entire pack. That for me is really powerful. The Wheel of Fortune, things are shifting. The energy is shifting. We have the card of the Lovers. This is a card of choices. It's choices in relationship. It can sometimes be choices in the kind of relationship that you want, or choices in terms of, I don't know, let's say if you become crystal clear that you're going to prioritize, let's say if you're single and looking for a relationship, you decide you're going to prioritize that. You start to make choices and decisions around that. If you're in an existing relationship and you're wanting to upgrade it, choices around that, time of choice, evaluation. If you are in a relationship that isn't actually resonating with you, evaluation, choices again. Key to all of this is the pathway you must follow. The Moon is a card of yearning. It's sometimes like a descent into the unconscious so that we can become conscious. It's a rite of passage. I always think of it as a rite of passage. It connects into this space of gestation, this in-betweeny space, where we maybe haven't quite formulated exactly what we want to do yet, or how we think we're going to initiate steps to put something into space, but we have yearnings, we have a restlessness, I'm going to say, that's around. Now the Knight of Swords is really interesting, because the Knight of Swords, let's move those cards, the Knight of Swords says something will happen in your external world, in the immediacy of your world, that will cause you to have to respond. Now, I don't know what that will be for each of you. It will be different. Your worlds are all unique to you. But something happens, this is what this card heralds, something happens that causes you to have to take an action or to respond in a particular way. What it actually creates, though, is the opportunity for, I want to say, the beginning of a harvest. Now, the reason I say beginning of a harvest is because the Empress, rather like the blank rune, is the energy of possibility. It's a gestation. It's a pregnancy almost. While you're waiting for something to grow enough in order for it to be birthed into the world, or birthed into its sort of material plane of existence. You know, whether that's, you know, it could be a relationship, it could be any number of things. It could be a career, whatever you are wanting to birth into the world, into your world, whatever you're wanting to manifest. Take your yearnings seriously. They're speaking to you. Something will happen to cause you to take you out of, I think, that rubbing along nicely, that sort of it's okay enough. I think something happens. Now, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a challenging something that comes along and you think, oh, I can't do this anymore. It might be. But it could also be some incredible opportunity where a doorway is opened for you. We have that gateway rune here. Breakthrough. Joy carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. I mean, this is amazing energy in terms of, I want to say, in terms of moving forwards. Overall, the flow of these runes feels like a leap. Whereas it doesn't feel just like it doesn't just feel as though something is emerging from within. It's more than that. It feels like a leap within your external process of manifestation. The Empress comes with an awareness, is perhaps the right language to use, of the fact that sometimes we can be offered an opportunity and we are reluctant to let go of our sense of existing security. Okay, I'm not suggesting you all do something radical or different that's really, really risky. It's like the energy that's different. It's the different energy between, if we think of healthy mothering as nurturing a child into an independent state, The other side of that is the negative aspect of mothering, where children are smothered, and if anything they are so wrapped up in cotton wool that they are never nurtured into independence. They are sort of nurtured into dependence. That's the duality of the flavour of this card. And so it really speaks of an invitation to support the birthing of something new, which does always involve some aspect of letting go. I'm actually going to draw from an astrology pack next. Okay. We have 3 cards that have come out. I thought it would be 2. Actually, it's 3. You can never know. We have the card of Neptune, Sacrifice. Something has to be let go of. That's what I really hear. In order to move forwards, I don't know what that is, it will be different for you each, but there is something that you have to release or let go of. I would even venture to say it may just be something that you there's like, sorry, my language. It's like an invitation not to cling or to hold on to something. It's not even like, it's not even a letting go. You know, there's like a different flavour to letting go of something, or simply no longer clinging to something, no longer remaining attached to something. And there is a sort of a different flavour to them, and it's much more the not clinging to something. Somehow I think the letting go, the breakthrough, the completion of beginnings, I think that just naturally, the energy is with you for that to naturally happen, to be carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. So we then have Sun, Spirit, source energy available to you. I love that that sits under the moon. I will just speak about that actually, because for me this is the energy of these two. The moon is rather like, it's rather akin to selenite. You know, if we think about the moon is the satellite of the Earth. Yeah, she journeys around our planet, she gathers the energy of the sun and she redistributes it to the Earth in varying quantities and with varying channels of energetic influence, depending on the sign, if you could say the personality of the sign that she's travelling through. If she's void, we say when a moon is void of course, it means she was in one sign and she hasn't yet reached the next sign. There's an in-between space. Very powerful times. That's the void of course moon. I've spoken about it in the diary. But it's a really powerful time that we can use energetically if we understand it. Now, sitting on top of source energy, sun, spirit, this is almost like the masculine and the feminine. And the selenite for me, I know they're not sort of masculine, feminine orientated, but there is something akin in the selenite to the energy of the moon, embodying high vibrational energy, redistributing it. And the sodalite is rational thought, clear thinking, directive thinking, articulate thinking. It has a very masculine flavour to it. As I said, I'm not being gender specific. I'm talking about the masculine and feminine energies that are universally in existence and of which we all have both. But here we have this direct line bang in the middle of this reading. Something is needing to pass away, to be let go of. And then we move to Taurus. That was our third card. Taurus, I have. This is about embodying and having something very, very new for yourselves. A new phase, a new direction. This is the breakthrough rune. 180-degree turn. Now, I don't know what the Knight of Swords is going to be. I don't know what will happen, but it generally indicates a something in the circumstances of your external world that triggers a response in you of some sort. The more conscious and the more mindful you are of your response, then the more consciously you can make decisions that are right for you. There's a very big difference between being responsive as opposed to reactive. Okay, so powerful month for you guys. I'm going to put the astrology cards away and we're going to connect into a second tarot pack. This is a powerful card. We have the Princess of Swords. This is really interesting. I actually love the energy of this. I will just hold the card up for you so you can see it. So the energy of this card is someone who, she doesn't beat about the bush. So it's akin to Jesus throwing the moneylenders out of the temple. I said there's something about you beginning to not have the same levels of tolerance to something in your world. That's what I'm, like the message I was hearing earlier. What this card also requests, back to being responsive rather than reactive to things, it asks you that if you're going to sweep away the old or state clearly how something is, let the dust settle before you then make the next move. Because, you know, sometimes if we want to throw out the old or we want to have a voice, it's really important to think about how we do it. And as I said, to let the dust settle so that we make sure that as we move forwards, we are in a space of genuinely conscious, mindful thinking. Again, it's this difference between responsive and reactive. Oh, more cards. I have to say, the cards are like utterly electric today. Really, really. It's almost like I can barely hold them. The Lovers. We have the Lovers, we have the throwing the moneylenders out of the temple kind of flavour, and then we have another card of the Lovers. In this pack, the Lovers speaks of relationships of higher consciousness. It's relationships that step up a grade. I am going to say, for those of you, or some of you, if you're looking for a new relationship, then I would say you're going to get quite clear on what you're looking for. And it is to do with finding people who resonate with you. If you are in any kind of situation, any kind of relationship where you're needing to make a decision, and I'm going to say your sort of tolerance of kind of just sort of bullshit and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to be good. You know, you're going to want people to be clear thinking. You're going to want people to be conscious, to be awake. And I'm going to say this is this articulation coming through. There's a very powerful energy to this, guys. I wonder if there's some situation for some of you that really is bubbling. I spoke about rubbing along nicely, and for some of you that may be it. And something happens that just causes you to think, do you know what? I'd like to change direction. For some of you, there may have been a gradual building up to a, do you know, I'd really like to change direction, and something happens that kind of rubber stamps your thinking, and you think, no, I'm going to do something about that. For others, it could be something that comes along, or that it's really been simmering, not just rubbing along nicely, but it's been simmering under the surface, and something comes along and you think, I'm not doing this anymore. It's got that flavour to it as well. I think it will impact on you each differently, and there's no indication as to a specific area of life. We have the card of Victory. That's cool. That's a nice energy in terms of whatever you move forwards, particularly under the Knight of Swords here, and I'm talking about being responsive rather than reactive. I think you get that one together, okay? I think you get to have a voice or to say how it is. I do think you have to also, some of you, you know, in some way there's a letting go and not clinging to something. Something needs to change its shape. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, whether it's a relationship that's changing its shape, or the kind of relationship it is, or the way you've been connected with one another, or it's a job or a circumstance, whatever it is, something needs to change its shape in some way. That coat doesn't fit you anymore. That's what I want to say. 2 6s, guys. Awesome. Six of Wands, which is, as I said, card of victory. Six of Cups, pleasure. Very lovely energy. I feel like, whatever it is that's kind of bubbling away or whatever comes, it doesn't feel as though it's drastically sort of negative in any way. It's like it attends to the restlessness. It creates opportunity. It creates this, I think some of you are already in this space of gestation. You're thinking about stuff. And as I said, these energies, selenite, sodalite, and for those of you that are interested in the energy of crystals and carry them with you, really good month to connect in with these two and keep them with you, or certainly have them with you when you meditate. If you're interested and work with meditation and speaking back to the astrology and the solstice time when we can receive massive downloads of information, and the eclipse season, we have that new moon eclipse on the 26th in Capricorn. Powerful time to connect in during meditation with the energy of these two. So, I feel like something will shift, but it shifts because something happens that causes you to have to respond to something. For some of you, I think you already know what it is that you're wanting to move away from or let go of or to step up into. And for others, there'll be a kind of an awakening. But listen to your yearnings. They've been there for a little bit longer than just now. I'm going to draw now from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. I should also just say, people have been asking me about cards and runes and things, and these cards, the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. At the moment, guys, this pack is the only pack in existence. But come January, they should be available, so I will update you as and when that happens. But as far as the cards go, I now have a card and book page that is dedicated to all of the things that I use, all of the cards and the runes, and they're there with photographs and links. So again, the actual link to that page is in the information box. So if any of these cards are really speaking to you and you want to get them for yourselves, you'll be able to find them really, really easily because I've photographed them all as well. We have the card of uncertainty. Okay, and the message here. Calm the noise within your mind, get still and meditate. If you're still uncertain, give yourself 4 hours and meditate again. If you are still unclear, wait for 4 days, and if necessary, 4 weeks. The answer will come. Guys, very, very clear message, and I think it's very present for you guys. There's something of this gestation period, this in-betweeny space where direction and clarity haven't yet emerged, although the energy appears to be with you for that clarity to come. But it can feel very uncertain when we're not sure which way to go. We have take your time. Slow down. If you are feeling under pressure, whether in response to a situation or the demands of another person, or from pressure that you are placing on yourself, this card asks you to slow down and take time to evaluate before reaching a conclusion, making a decision, or committing yourself. Take time, guys. Meditate. Illumination. I feel like direction will come to you. We then had the two cards actually came then. We had this card, take your time, and choices and decisions. The choices that we make today are defining the shape of our tomorrow, and so it is hardly surprising that we sometimes worry about making the right decisions. Do not shroud your mind in the fog of uncertainty. Just as you have choices today, you will also have choices tomorrow and the day after. Be assured you can always change course again. For me, this is a really reassuring card because it reminds me of exactly that. If I'm going through a transition, and I've certainly been through many in my life, as I guess, to be honest, we all do, it's part of being human. But when we do and we're living with uncertainty, we can so worry about whether the direction is right. But of course, the reality is we can always change course. And sometimes, even if we embark on a particular pathway, even if we change our mind later, we will have learned something along that road, and that something may be just the skill that we needed or the learning that we needed to move into the next phase of another direction. So I'm always really reassured by this card. And lastly, we have the card of Shine. The time is right for you to spread your wings and soar. You have something valuable to share. Bring forth your greatest contribution. Step into your fullest potential. Show the world the real you. Reach out and shine. The universe supports your growth. For me, this is a card of such reassurance or such encouragement. Whatever it is that happens and whatever is emerging in terms of a shift in your world, this reading is really indicating that the time is right and that your yearnings, your desires need to be listened to, taken seriously and acted upon. But it would also suggest the universe is going to be kind of giving you a bit of guidance in terms of sending something that causes you to step into a space where you need to see with greater clarity. And you do, in turn, find some kind of you make the choices and decisions you need to in this moment in time. Aquarius, Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Aquarius, Aquarius rising. Guys, this is an amazing reading. The energy of it is profound, it's intense, but it's exciting. So, guys, so much love to you. If you haven't checked out the big 2020s, please do so. As I think I've said earlier, they're in a playlist. And I look forward to seeing you guys again really, really soon. So much love to you guys. So much love. The Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon Diary 2020. Welcome, guys. So what is this diary about? Basically, I put it together because I couldn't find what I was looking for out there in the world. I could find various other diaries, but nothing gave me all of the components that I actually wanted to literally be carrying around with me. For a long time, I have been fascinated by the way that the incoming energy and planetary influences affects us each individually, particularly in relationship to our ability to be consciously manifesting the things that we desire in the world. Now, anyone that knows me very well will know that not so long ago, my world was not particularly in a great place. I faced some huge challenges, and I really worked very hard at understanding how I could turn things around from the inside out. And in many ways, this diary contains a lot of the information that I had to go and search for, sort of collated in a format that I think makes it very accessible and easy to relate to and engage with in terms of your own personal journey. You will find in the diary a breakdown of the steps of manifestation as I have come to understand them and use them in my own life. You will also find information about the different phases of the moon and how to use that energy in terms of your own process of manifestation. You'll find information about the energy of the moon as she travels through the zodiac signs, and also what happens when she's in between signs and her energy isn't being channeled in any particular direction. You'll find information not just about Mercury in retrograde and how that energy affects us, but also Mars and Venus, the warrior planets, in retrograde. In the diary pages, you will find a week to view page with positions of the moon every single day. And of course, also most importantly for me, as this is something I have been really looking for, next to the week to view, there is a page where you can actually journal and make your own personal notes and reflections. It means that this diary can become a personal record for you in your own growing ability to understand the incoming energy and use it to its absolute fullest. So guys, I am going to be giving away 10 copies of this diary in the first week of December, so please watch this space. That will, obviously, it's a subscriber offer. But guys, thank you so much for being a part of this amazing community. And do look out for the announcement of that, and also look out for the announcements the following week, because I will also be giving away further copies. There is a proper journal that goes with the diary as well, and I'll be giving away copies of those in the second week of December. So much love to you guys, so much love.